Okay, here it comes. It will be very liquid to start out with. They won't understand what in the heck this is, but you'll be surprised at how quickly they catch on. So I'm going to place them over here a little bit. And they're going to say, what in the heck is this? Get a couple of them up who are sleeping. Sort of like the kid with the birthday cake, the 1-year-old with the birthday cake. They get going and then they think it's great fun.
You want to start this? Chris?
They're being very polite, but we'll wait till the end and see how polite they stay. Now, one of the things, this is the yummy weaning diet, and they'll start to they'll eat more and more. They'll have another meal this afternoon. Do not be concerned if they at some point throw up. It has nothing to do with the food, obviously. What it is that this is all new to their systems, and so they don't know quite what to make of it, and sometimes they overeat. So it's just a matter of getting used to new systems and new things. Well, this is being an extremely polite group. So Taya must have really been feeding them well because they're hungry, but they're not as hungry as many litters that I've had. You never know how much to make either. It's funny. Now, their second meal today, they probably won't eat very much because they'll be full from this meal. And also the other thing that's sort of interesting is always to try to figure out what consistency. You start out by putting water in it, and then eventually, not very long from now, we won't put water. They'll transition over to the puppy chow. And that will start out being soaked a little bit, but they obviously have teeth now, and so they'll use their teeth and chow down that good puppy chow. So for now, this is just the beginning of the weaning. So you'll see Taya in the box less often now. This gets to be a little bit of a tricky process because I have to decrease the amount of milk that she is making, and you do that by decreasing the amount of exposure she has to the puppies and also the amount of food that she is given. So she's been eating 8 cups of the wonderful Eukanuba Premium a day, and I will slowly decrease her back to her normal 1 cup twice a day. And you can turn it off. Now my work really begins, because theoretically, after they start eating the weaning diet, then Taya no longer cleans up after them. Well, she still does a little bit, but again, that gets changed also. Whoa! Now the litter box training, we hope, really is working, because it gets to be a bigger mess in here. So if you see me scrambling around, that is why. And you'll also many times see me sort of putting my finger in here and stirring it up a little bit. Again, that's because when they eat it, it sort of gets matted down, and it's a way to help them get more food when they want it. And again, eating is all a learning process, and so they'll really catch on to this in a major way, obviously. And then I'll introduce, in a day or so, I'll introduce water. So you will see them drinking water, putting their feet in the water, putting their heads in the water, and so water management gets to be an issue also. But this is a really polite group, I'm surprised. And at this point, I might add, just because this is the very beginning, I might add a little bit more water to this to help them be able to get it. And again, they need that moisture content. Another thing I do, you'll probably notice there's a towel in here. I put a towel down underneath the dish because, as you can imagine, they are not clean eaters. So it doesn't keep everything clean, but it helps a little bit. We have Miss Brown going into the box to go to the bathroom. Good girl. So I think you guys who watch quite regularly are noticing that just in a 2-day period, these pups are starting to use this litter box more and more. They have bundles of accidents, no doubt about it, but they're catching on as to what this system is all about. probably wasn't necessary to feed them in 2 bunches because this isn't a particularly large litter. But for their first meal, I decided to feed them in 2 so they really have plenty of room to be able to explore. So you may see me in the future just using 1, but at the same time as the amount that they eat increases, then there probably will be need for the 2. It's probably hard for you to see these new toys that I've put in here that Yukonuba was kind to send to me, but it's bundles of $100 bills and it says, "In dog we trust." So today when you're handing in your taxes, just remember, "In dog we trust." Go home and hug your dog, it'll make your day better. Again, the philosophy of right after they eat, they're going to want to go to the bathroom. So that's why I'm in the box, sort of able to catch them quickly. So there we go, light pink, going to the bathroom after a big meal. She is a big girl. You notice how these pups are starting to look differently from one another. Taya is 1/8 golden retriever, but she and the other 7/8 she is lab, but she was bred to a golden retriever, and you can see that Harvest, I think, is going to end up looking almost like a full golden, whereas Holly, I think, is going to look very lavish. And usually our dogs that are crosses look on the whole Labrador. It seems to be the dominant characteristic. They'll sometimes have a little longer hair, but not much. But if you get a dog that has golden in her, bred to a golden retriever, then you can get some more golden characteristics. And as I said, I think Harvest here is going to be a very golden retriever looking dog. By far the most, in fact. So they're sort of slowing down here. I'll let them, there's no reason for them to rush, and especially this first time around. But I'll let them work on it a little bit longer. I don't leave this in here for an hour. I sort of believe in the philosophy, when it's time to eat, you eat, and you give them, especially this first time around, you give them time to understand what this new good weaning diet is all about. So I'll give them about 5 more minutes, and certainly they'll start falling off, and once they've started falling off, then I'll pick it up. But Harvest, as you know from the weigh-in, is a big girl, and she took a break and she's back for more. So here's another pup choosing to go to the litter box. So the litter box is in the middle, obviously, and one of the reasons it's in the middle is it's convenient for them, because I want them to sort of bump into it all the time and say, "Oh yeah, need to go to the bathroom," so I'm going to go get into the litter box. Hi. Good pup. Of course, it's also a great place to have a wrestling match. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up now. I think they've had it and done a good job for their first meal. And I'll feed them again at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. And my guess is they won't be overly hungry. because they have had a good meal, and then Taya will still nurse. Now is the tricky part because I have to decrease her exposure to the puppies, but at the same time I have to make sure that she doesn't move into mastitis from being too full, and so what you want to do is you want her to nurse some, so she's sort of top off the pups and get some milk out, and then Mother Nature takes care of it. It's really miraculous. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the first feeding, and I'm going to turn the sound off for a while, but I will try to certainly keep the sound on as much as I can. You know, we have an active life going on here, so you don't need to hear our life, but when I can, when I'm home alone with the pups, I'll turn the sound on. Have a good tax day, everybody.